Mr. Shaka? Mr. Shaka?
Yes, Miss Kate. I was stacking all the papers. Just turned in from the class. The class was letting out and over 100 papers were in my hands. The young girl stood in front of me of the desk and waited for my attention from stacking the papers. I finally stacked them together, set them in the corner, but I was not prepared for what I was about to see. I looked up and Kate slowly removed her books from in front of her dress at the midsection. Blood spread as she did. I gasped because I knew in an instant this wasn't a talk about girl problems she wanted to have with a male teacher, especially a temporary substitute grad student teacher. Miss Kate, tell me what happened. She barely got it out and I was already on the phone calling the police and paramedics.
My stepfather, or my mom's boyfriend. My mom wasn't at home.
Yes, 911, please send paramedics and police over to St. Joseph's High School, room 200. It seems the live-in boyfriend finally made his move on the girlfriend's daughter when she was called in for a second shift at the hospital. 8 to 10 hours of free time. The kid came home and he made his move.
Jamal, what's 2 plus 2? 4?
I thought it was a little bit strange. He wasn't stuttering. He was searching for the answer.
Jamal, what's 2 plus 2? 5?
There, he didn't know the answer. Wait. I looked around the classroom at all the faces, waiting expectantly to correct him. No, they were waiting for me to tell them the answer. I looked right, then left. Not a single look of disgust. Not a single look of boredom.
Class, what's 2 plus 2?
Murmurs, mumbling. Where were the A students? I looked in the front row, all mumbling.
Class, what's 1 plus 1?
A hand goes up.
Mr. Shaka, it's that when the substitute teachers come in, they teach us differently than when Miss Crabtree teaches us. You see, she tells us it's whatever we feel. But the substitute teachers say 2 plus 2 is 4. But Miss Crabtree says that's wrong.
After class, I went to the office to look at their grades. Everyone in the class had a C. No F's, no A's. I asked the secretary to the vice principal after I bought her a frappuccino. I've had to be a spy before. All the classes had C's or even B's, the vice principal secretary said, that black students deserve a chance at life. She smiled. She loved the frappuccino. The next day, I gave the class a pop quiz, an hour-long assessment with hearts and flowers on the paper to ease the students' minds. It was Friday, and I had all weekend to sit and wrap myself in a blankie to assess the entire class. Saturday, a knock came on the door.
Mr. Shaka, I want to go to Harvard. Can you get me out of this school?
The story he told me froze my blood. He was bussed in from across town. The city had decided that the black area of town should go to the same school. The problem was that the only criteria was that they be black. Jamal was from a rich family. His father was a doctor and his mother was a lawyer. He was so embarrassed about how bad his education was, he never talked about school nor mentioned anything. He lied and said he was making straight A's. It was enough for his parents and even his sisters. They were at the same school too. No report cards ever came home because the school didn't believe in it.
Mr. Shaka, I can't get into Harvard with...
I put down my cup of hot chocolate, unfolded Mr. Blanky from me, and said, "No, Jamal, you can't." So all the kids at school were black, poor mixed with rich kids. It made no sense. I told Jamal to go home. Later that day, his father showed up. He handed me a check for $50,000. He had suspected something was up, and had me investigated to figure out I was a new substitute teacher. He put 2 and 2 together without the terrible new education system, thankfully, and cornered his son, who told him everything. The money was for me to figure out a way for his son to get to Harvard. I jumped on my email, I drew up all the connections I had made, and even ended up talking to a few federal administrators who wished me luck after being amazed that I got through to their private lines. It's really happened. It's amazing what you can do when you're nice to secretaries on the phone and you get them to cry over a sob story about a black kid that just wants to go to Harvard. Finally, I said, what the heck? I called Harvard, told them the whole story and how the teachers union were standing in this kid's way of going to Harvard. I promised if I tutored this guy, I'd deliver to them a genius. Harvard contacted the dad and told him my proposal. Guess what? I got a visit from the teachers union rep. I know you were thinking I was going to say something else. Not only was I told to shut up, but if I kept on with this case, things could get rough for me. I told the dad about the visit. After dropping off a $150,000 check with the deal that his son should be my roommate, quote unquote, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, he would handle the teachers union. Oh, wait, the story gets better. Jamal comes over with luggage, mom, dad, and the friggin' governor. He heard I'd been having problems. Really, Captain? Understatement? He saw the room Jamal would be staying in, the teacher's room, the teaching material, the state-of-the-art computer system, including my video studio. He gives me the thumbs up, shakes my hand, pats me on the shoulder. He, mom, and father leave Jamal and I alone. The next day at school, I'm informed I'm no longer subbing there. Some nameless parent complained about me. Fun fact, the student in question never talked to me. Jamal is a doctor now, graduated from Harvard twice. Oh, and the assessment of the entire class was they were all smart, but knew nearly 100% wrong stuff. And that's why I stopped being a teacher.